Greetings, Nakama. Embrace yourselves for victory! Because this Warlord Watchlist heads to the front lines in search of valor, awesomeness, and honor within the brilliant series VINLAND SAGA. This video essay signals to all the horns of war as we head into a beautiful period piece. As always, if you want to see more anime explainers, be sure to like and subscribe for more in-depth deep dives. And with that being said, let's get reckless. As we take to the high seas in search of fame and fortune, this One Piece loving channel is going to jump into the glorious Viking lore. Boo! And silliness sport rivalries aside, my weeb side finds all the adrenaline it needs in watching a football game and sitting for 28 minutes to absorb the beauty of Makoto Yukimura sensei's gorgeous masterpiece, VINLAND SAGA. This timepiece, Nakama, is one where the prologue comprises a character many newcomers may feel is the actual protagonist, yet the individual the audience becomes raptured with is only the bellwether and where his son is heading, and the great warriors he's met along the way. And that, my Nakama, is the true essence of what it means to be a warrior. Being a fan of action is almost as synonymous as being a fan of anime itself. This isn't to say that anime that are adventure-based are not representations of the media. That's not what I'm claiming at all. My stance is that action scenes of anime are able to reach the limits that they can because they're in the medium of anime. The existence of the genre allows actions, depictions, and portrayals to push the boundaries of storytelling in all sorts of manners. The environment of VINLAND SAGA being the perfect portrayal of this, as our true protagonist Thorfinn attempts the first step in a long journey towards his inner peace. An aspect that I argue is the cornerstone of what each of his father figures that appears through this show has to offer him, depending on how he approaches his inner peace. And when you learn the studio behind the series is the infamous MAPPA, well, MAPPA gonna MAPPA. And the action pieces, along with the character depth, is brilliantly showcased between two seasons that contain 24 episodes each. Oh yeah, Nakama, no getting you all engaged in some small 12 episode series. We getting chunky for battle. And I can't think of the perfect individual to set the stage than the aforementioned Thors. In many worlds, those that watched the first 3 episodes would literally walk away believing that this was the main character, when in fact, this Viking daddy is an entity whose life resonates with so many years after he's left the story. As we open on this beautifully illustrated world, this former warrior spends his life ensuring the dignity and safety of those around him, while always showing a hint of superhuman strength. Thor commits to a happy life with his family, and our actual protagonist, his wee lad, Thorfinn. What commences is an understatement of a coming-of-age story. And with it all, I want to focus on a few quiet words that happen from a father and his son. After Thorfinn causes a ruckus and shows a flash for violence, Thor tries to impart on him that he has no enemies. However, this statement on the ears of a 6-year-old falls completely flat. And I argue it is not until the second core of season 2 that he finally learns what it is a warrior must fight for. While the following years of Thorfinn's life I can easily diagnose as traumatic, I argue that the father figures that cross paths with this young man each represent a man that his warrior spirit could have taken him. And although his father biologically was connected, you look at the beast he becomes and it is hard not to see the image of the mastermind of the series. And this sculptor's fingerprints are littered within the early psyche of Thorfinn. These words whispered within the guise of what could almost be construed as an imaginary friend tethering him to a fatherly figure that bit by bit spent a decade chiseling this mad lad into a Chad in waiting. Granted, the child abuse and neglect is horrible. Askeladd is a monster that no one should trust, but narratively, he's amazing. And the parallel to his essence that resonates years after his stepping out of the series is so glaring similar to that of Thor's, I am doing a disservice if I am not depicting it outright. The father that sculpted our protagonist plays as big a role as the father by blood, blurring the lines of nature versus nurture in the development of Thorfinn and what it means to be a warrior. But no matter how the chisel of this master may swing, blood is still blood, and while he may be less like his father, the chance encounter in the battle of the London Bridge falling down, never made that connection before. Dark. And within the madness of the fray, our protagonist family, actual family in the form of the best boy of the show. And this is not a dismissal. Thorkill is well into his 40s, and in any other series, he'd be in the running for best male character overall. The way this behemoth mows down foes on the battlefield runs akin to a flood, washing away everything in his path. This man is brutal incarnate, but the pure bliss he shows for his craft on the battlefield has a youthful charisma to it you have to be drawn in. And with such a riz, coupled with a youthful love for his craft, you can't help but declare him best boy, especially for fear of death. Because while he may be smiling, I can assure you everyone in his way is not. And as his role in the world begins to shift, we see the cracks within his glee that were prominent within his brother-in-arms and Thorfinn's father Thor's. For within the chaos on the battlefield, there also remains a sliver of doubt. Not in himself. Thorkill is the pinnacle of self-assurance, but in the battle he engages in, that small glimmer of what am I actually doing this for? Because as Thor learns, by leaving the battlefield, he finds it. By adhering to the stories of his mother, Askeladd finds it. And as Season 2 enters its second half, the final father figure Makoto-sensei uses to guide Thorfinn uses age and wisdom to depict the final key that Thorfinn needs. You can start learning things one at a time. If you are empty, then you can fit anything inside you. In fact, it is better to be empty than to be reborn. Such simple words said by Svarkle while teaching young lads simply how to fish. But within them resounds so much of what it means to be a warrior and a fight of what you want. While these words did not come from a veteran of the battlefield, they were told by a veteran of life that has had to make decisions behind many that go to war. While his blood may not have been displayed on the battlefield, his judgments have seen blood fall on his hands. Your decisions in life have weight, and it is how you manage them as you progress that allows you to understand the way of the warrior. Because as we have seen in some examples of father figures, you can get lost in all the chaos and not really understand what it's all about. You can fight for lofty goals or the simple things that you hold dear. As the series progresses, allies that were once held close turn into antagonists, and the actions friends make forced decisions our protagonist must grapple with. And as he continues to grapple, the aspects of the world and the encounters within allow for anything, even an empty vessel, to be filled. And it is through this venture that you will understand why the journey is so gripping and what truly matters to fight for. And that, my Nakama, is why you should watch VINLAND SAGA. Hey you! Yeah you, the amazing Nakama that made it to the end of our content. Hi, I'm the Dark Briton with the Runaway Warlords, and I'd like to personally say thank you for being able to check out our video. If you like what we have, go ahead and subscribe. That'll really be able to help you out. If you want to check out another video, we have one right here. And also, we have a lovely playlist for you to check out right there. I'm the Dark Briton of the Runaway Warlords. Thank you so much for being with us on this journey. We'll catch you next time. Peace.